Hey everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim, and with me is my co-host Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
The Knicks are only down by 2. I'm feeling pretty good.
Who are they playing?
The
anyway?
Bucks.
I don't even know all right. And they got a game. They won last time too.
They won last night, yeah.
There you go. A little bit of a streak, maybe. We'll see. But we're here for movie reasons. And we picked our last movie last episode, and that is The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Yeah, it was.
And we both watched it.
It's a film, Tim. It was a film.
It was a film. I'm not going to say it will be in cinema history by any means, because I didn't even know it existed until you told me about it.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you happy now?
Happy. Happy is a strong word. That's a very strong word. I have to say, I think people are already catching my vibe. I can't say I will be scoring this movie incredibly high, and I don't think we'll be arguing it in the season finale.
No, I don't think so either. But
but it should be fun talking about it anyway, right? So I guess we're going to start talking about the hero first.
Well, do you want to go over what the movie is first?
Oh, yes.
The main basic plot.
All right, so I'm going to go by IMDb. Is that fine?
That's fine, yeah.
All right. A mercenary with a three-bladed sword rediscovers his royal heritage's dangerous future when he is recruited to help a princess foil the designs of a brutal tyrant and a powerful sorcerer in conquering a land.
Yep. That's kind of the movie.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not so sure about that rediscovering his royal heritage.
No, he seemed to always knew what it was, and
yeah, I mean, it didn't seem to be a thing for him.
yeah. Well, we should go ahead and talk about the hero now. Now that we've gone over that.
Really quick, I'm like looking at the director here,
Albert. No, it's Payan.
Payan.
He just recently passed, unfortunately.
Oh,
like 2-3 days ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Do you know what he did? He was a very important part of our childhood, Tim.
Is he? Because I'm like looking through it. I'm like, I don't know this. I don't know
He did the 1990 Captain America movie.
Oh, with the rubber ears.
That's right, the rubber ears.
Oh, wow. There it is. Wow.
At the time, you know what? For all its faults, it still kind of looked like what I imagine a Captain America movie should look like. And that was the best Marvel anyone had done up to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, visually, too, sometimes it was kind of neat, even with the rubber ears, like him in the beginning going into the Nazi base and that battle with the Red Skull was still kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. The man got the most out of his budget every time.
Yeah. That's for sure. Apparently, he also directed the Van Damme movie Cyborg.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a movie I saw for sure multiple times.
Wow.
It looks like this was his first movie.
This is his first movie, yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, then let's talk about our hero. Thoughts?
Was it Talon? Talon? It's Talon.
Talon? I thought it was Talon.
Okay, sorry. It's been. I watched this over the weekend, and now I can't.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I think I could be wrong, but I thought that's what.
Well, let me just tell you, this is the shortest section in my notes.
Really? It's my longest.
Okay. Well, why don't you start us off?
Okay, fair enough. It is my longest section. So anyway, I guess some backstory here is you get some backstory to start us off with this movie, right? So it's you got voiceover to start, right? And I guess you have some amazing kingdom and such, and this we'll get to our villain later, but he needs help. Basically, to
evil king wants another kingdom, goes to resurrect an evil wizard to help him defeat this kingdom, which he can't do by himself.
Right, and so he gets what he needs, and that's going to bring Talon here is like the son of this great kingdom.
The second son. Yeah, the second son,
right?
The middle son. Yep.
Yeah. And so his whole family is killed. So you get this younger version of him at first, as he's kind of like seeing his world come crashing down, I guess, sorts.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny because my first note is Talon ? Because I'm trying to figure out his name. And then my second note is this effing sword! !
So we're getting right into the sword, huh?
We gotta go. When you're talking about the hero, you gotta go into the sword. This sword is nuts.
I put most of my sword notes under the action.
Okay.
Which is, but
fair enough, I guess. I don't. The sword is a part of the hero.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
No, the triple sword, which I think everyone calls it, is truly special and hilarious. It's literally just 3 blades on one hilt, and the side blades can shoot out like a gun.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Which I have another note of, does it reload?
Great question. I also have questions about this because after so what happens is Talon goes to see his dad on the battlefield. He's dying, he's murdered in front of him, and one of the close advisors tells him, "No, you can't go avenge him now. You got to go save your mother. She's trying to escape." So he goes there, and on the way, he gets into some fights, and he uses the triple sword to shoot 2 guys, and they go flying. I mean, but he never goes to collect the blades afterwards.
Right.
They don't come back.
But they're back.
Yeah.
They're just
later
there.
on, much later on, because we don't see this sword again after the beginning for another hour and 14 minutes. Until the hour 14 minutes.
Yeah. I have a note later on that goes, the sword is back.
It's
where was it?
It's a 99-minute long movie, and it's just gone. And it's the most unique part of the movie, too.
Yes, and it's on the poster, which the poster's kind of sweet looking.
Oh, it's nice.
To be honest,
yeah.
it's a really
Love
nice
those
looking
80s
poster.
painted fantasy posters.
Yeah,
cool
the sword is there, really prominent in the poster. Almost every picture I see of this movie, it's the freaking sword. So I was kind of shocked when, like, I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, "Where's the sword?" Like, it's not really.
They even
like
built this special holster on the horse.
Right.
At the beginning of the movie, for just there. The 3.
You can't carry the sword. You have to carry physically by hand the sword around because you can't holster it on you. So it's either be holstered by a horse or you're carrying it. So maybe this is really impractical.
Yes, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and it's kind of because I guess too, like his dad, the king, right, doesn't even need it. Like he's like, or doesn't need it, or he's like, I don't want it just to fall in the wrong hands or something.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to bring this amazing sword to this epic
he's
battle
like,
that I need to win.
If this thing doesn't go right, you have to avenge me. That's your job. I'm like, no pressure.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy to throw on your offspring.
It's like he's not going into this with a rosy point of view, but all right.
No. But yeah, my second note, can't holster, have to carry it around.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a holster for a horse.
Yes, there is. You noticed that too. That's great.
Yeah. I liked too when he does shoot the sword blade, that one guy just gets hit right in the back of the head.
Yeah. No,
the blade. I guess, sorry, we're going a little actiony here. But so anyway, I guess Talon is, we see him later as an adult because, we get time jump here.
Yeah, he decides, well, I was going to put this in an action on that, but it doesn't work out well for him and saving his mom and brother. It's
right.
He literally watches his mom get murdered in front of him, but right before that, his little brother dies, and his sister gets taken away to die off screen, I guess.
Or raped, who knows?
I hope not, considering she was like 4. I'm just hoping for the best.
Yeah, right?
I'm hoping she just got aced out quickly. So he goes off and he becomes an adventurer after that. To hone his skills.
Right. Yeah, he really is like a mercenary because apparently you kind of see later on in the film, you get the gist that almost all the surrounding kingdoms owe him.
Yeah.
Because he's been out gallivanting and saving the day for various kingdoms around the area, the region, I don't know, like various kingdoms.
He's been a superhero.
Yeah, basically. I get, but when you say mercenary, clearly he's not in it just for glory, because he's looking for some kind of payment. And I think the most insane thing here for this movie is he's not doing this mission in this movie for payment of currency. So he's not receiving gold or anything. He's looking to get laid.
Yeah, not only does he not care about money, he's not interested in taking back the kingdom that he lost.
Doesn't care.
He just wants to nail the princess.
Yeah, because he's totally fine with letting who has a very weak connection to the throne. He doesn't care, like the girl's brother.
It's the advice in the beginning of the movie when the advisor's telling him on the field of battle, like, no, you got to go save your mother. Those are his kids. That's the advisor.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, because it was the only other advisor we met.
Right. So it's a very weak connection to the throne.
Yeah.
But I guess that's their claim, and he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, go for it. I don't want that throne.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a good old time with my band of merry men and doing cool adventures, and right now I'll do this adventure for you, but you gotta have some fun with me first.
And after, later. Yeah, no, you must be
after.
You must be perfumed and pretty for me. You can't.
Yes.
You can't just give me.
What a line! That was an insane line. Yeah.
I got the impression that Talon is very Indiana Jones influenced, because this comes out. He's got a quick wit, and he's always looking for the easiest, quickest way to win the fight. He does a lot of like shortcuts like that, but he still makes mistakes and gets his butt kicked a bunch of times. That's kind of why so it wasn't smooth like Bond. So he's still like
Yeah, he's got a lot of dirty jokes.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of sexual innuendos, or just straight up going like, "I'm going to bed you, wench," I think is another line where I'm like, "Oh my god."
Our hero.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's making jokes about other characters' penis size too at some points too.
Oh, yeah.
He makes a small penis joke too to somebody,
Yep.
and it's just wow, like he's a pretty early on anti-hero of sorts.
Yeah. He's been doing the Han Solo type thing where like I don't really care about all this nonsense. I'm just in this to get laid.
And I think it's interesting too. This seems like a pretty daring mission he's getting put on, and he's got a band of men that crusade with him, but he doesn't bring them on this mission. I don't know. Maybe he's like, I don't want to share the princess, so that's like, why is that?
I don't know, but we'll get into them and how much I love them later.
Yeah, because that would be in the sidekick category.
Exactly.
Because there's a long they come at the end, so there's a long part of this movie where I'm like, I have no idea who the sidekick is. I don't know what to take notes on for the sidekick category.
Let's just talk about how like when Talon first gets into town, he's just constantly eating. It's like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11. It's like every scene he's in, he's got like he's drinking some mead. He's got like a giant turkey leg. He's always snacking on whatever he can find.
And he's very tan.
Oh yeah,
he's a very tan individual. He was a very pale boy. I guess he was held up in those castles for too long, but now he's out adventuring, so he's got some sun.
The look about this guy is straight off of like an 80s romance novel. He's got the feathered hair. Everyone else is dressed kind of like for warm weather, but he's got this giant winter cloak on. Just okay.
It's a good point, yeah, because he's not like, as much as they really doll him up, face and hair and all that, and he's got the broad shoulders and everything, he is kind of covered up more.
Yeah. Until the very end where he is just like a loincloth or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I guess he's saving it for the end, I guess, right? Yeah. The other great lines: use it or put it away. Very Indiana Jones vibes again.
Did you write Indiana Jones too?
I did.
Wow,
I said very Indiana Jones vibe. Yep, that was my last note I made of him.
The last note I made on him is, hey, Talon gets crucified, and this is the same thing that happens in Conan the Barbarian, which comes out in the same year. Crucifixions were huge in 1982.
Yes, and actually, I do make a Conan note, too, because I made that note for the beginning of the movie, as they're kind of going in his backstory of how he gets to become this mercenary and this traveler, adventurer, is very much Conan.
What's funny is this movie comes out first, and Conan comes out like 2 weeks later.
Wow, so they're like basically made simultaneously.
Oh, yeah, but like, there's only one stood the test of time.
Right. But I mean, that's kind of normal for Hollywood, right? There's so many examples throughout history of like two movies getting made pretty close together and coming out, and they're very
And
similar
remember, this year
movies.
we also have Beastmaster
Yeah.
comes out later, and Sorcerer. So I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy. So like the early 80s and 70s, right, had some hardcore fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we have Willow coming out this week too.
Yeah, it's out now.
Or at least as we're recording. So another 80s, later 80s fantasy type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think any of them did that well, exception of, I guess, Conan did. Obviously, it got a sequel. Beastmaster got a sequel.
Yep. Beastmaster got
yeah.
a couple sequels.
Yeah.
Well, this movie.
But I think a lot of them were directed.
I'll tell you
at-
what. This movie did pretty well. Pretty damn well.
Did it?
You want You want the budget? I was going to do
Yeah.
this at the end, but budget of
Oh, it's fine.
it's okay. Budget of $4 million, which in today's money is a little over $12 million.
Okay.
A worldwide gross of $39 million, and with inflation today, that'd be a little over $120 million.
Wow.
So it was
It's weird.
huge success.
Yeah, and yet again, I've never heard of it
Yeah.
before until now. So it's super weird. Yeah, I guess my other thing is like he is a garbage person, but charming somehow.
We never get to hear his thoughts about how he lost his parents. It didn't seem to bother him that much when we meet him. He's like, it happened. And it's like,
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want his birthright. He doesn't want.
he never really
the
has a
kingdom.
conversation with anyone about anything other than, I want to get laid, and this is the way I'm going to do it. Or it's
I'm gonna
I got
totally want to do this to get laid, and now you've pissed me off, so now I'm coming for you at the end. That's kind of seems to be the gist.
So, yeah, we never find out really anything about him, how he feels about anything. So it's a very one-note character.
Yeah,
It's very
and
shallow.
she's- The princess there is very turned off by it. Like, what is wrong with you?
Great question.
But agrees to it. But then at the end was like, the way you got crucified and saved the day, I'm okay with giving you your payment. And then he's like, cool, peace out.
Well, he's got to swing her over to the other bedroom, I guess. But I don't.
Yeah.
They've just been hanging out in the dungeons fighting, and I don't think she's perfumed and pretty. But I guess he's like whatever at this point.
But yeah, after getting crucified, let's just go.
Yeah.
On to my next adventure. This one did not go that well for me. So let's move on.
Let's move on to the villain. Oh wait, what do you give the hero? Yeah, we gotta score this.
Oh yeah, we gotta give the hero one here.
What do you give him?
One? I guess a 2.
Wow, you're higher than me. I gave him a 1.
That's fair.
There's, like I said, there's nothing there. I mean, it's a bunch of one-liners and.
It is a bunch of one-liners that made me laugh and chuckle. It's not like he delivered them badly. It's more just like I'm just shocked by how messed up and inappropriate a lot of it is, and disturbing. But like, he's not a good guy, but doing good deeds. He really is this weird anti-hero. And so I don't know. I enjoyed his one-liners and such. I'm okay with going.
We can do a 1.5 if
1.5.
you want to split it like
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah, let's go 1.5.
Okay.
Let's go 1.5.
All right. Look at you being a generous grader. All right. The villain. The villains. We got 2 of them in this one.
Yeah, this is where I have a lot less notes.
This is where I have a lot more.
Okay, so you start us off here.
Well, first, you got the evil, the sorcerer. The titular sorcerer. Was it Zusha? And he looks like a Freddy
like
Krueger rough draft.
Yeah,
He looks...
I get that.
and he's played by Richard Mall. Did you look up who that is?
No.
You know him. You know his voice very well. Well, I say Richard Mall only played him in the opening scenes, and then they had to rush him to the hospital because the prosthetics and everything were giving him an allergic reaction. So he just had to voice the character throughout the rest of the movie. But Richard Mall was the voice of Two-Face on Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, wow.
Yep. He was also the voice of Scorpion on the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, and what was the other one? The Abomination on the short-lived Incredible Hulk series.
Wow. So a big part of my childhood. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Dang.
And they have blown the whole makeup budget on Zusha in this movie. Because anyone else who has to wear a wig or have some kind of like fake beard or anything, it looks cheap as hell and bad. But Zusha looks kind of cool.
Yeah. He's not in it much. So I think that getting to see that makeup, you don't get to see it very long. It's very
It's really just the
stints.
beginning and the end and a small part in the middle.
Yeah, basically, you see him in the beginning getting betrayed. Betraying the person that woke him to show off his power. Got easily manipulated there.
Yep.
And then they say that you don't actually know what he did for him. His sorcery powers helped, but you don't know.
You just
in
saw
what
field
way
of
or
battle
how.
and everyone is dead in front of him. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
you got half the army for me. I can go get the other half by myself. But I know he's going to get too powerful if I let him live too long. So our other villain, Cromwell, gives him the shiv.
Right, so he's perceivably dead.
Sadly enough, the stuntman who did the dive off the cliff missed the airbags and died when doing that stunt.
They kept it on screen?
Him falling, yeah. But, of course, didn't see him land.
It's still messed up.
Well, you know,
Falls.
you don't want to see him die for
Man.
nothing either, but it's too bad.
I guess that is rough.
Yeah.
Ow. Anyway, and so I don't know how to move on from that. That's
Well, let's
so
move on to
stupid.
Cromwell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to finish up with Zusha or whatever.
I
right?
probably have more notes on Zusha, but yeah, go ahead.
He comes back like randomly later on in the middle, being like, "Yo, I am behind the scenes here."
He said, I've got a plan. I've been waiting for 8 years.
Yeah, which seems like a really weird.
Well, no, it took me 8
convoluted plan.
years to recover.
Right.
And now in this, I guess, 11th year, because I think they say later on it was 11 years for Talon to come back.
I guess. Yeah.
Anyway, he's got his plan is set in motion to conquer everything.
Yeah, which I guess he's just like pretending to be his like right hand man.
Yeah,
dude.
that's the big surprise that he is.
It didn't seem like much of a good plan there. I don't know.
Well, it's not bad. He was playing Count as a Michelli. Is his fake face.
Right.
But the plan was he's going to get this wedding to the princess, and he's going to invite all the other kings there, and he was going to ace them all out and just declare himself the ultimate ruler.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
I guess I don't know. I don't know how he was gonna kill them all and such, but
Well, that was
yeah,
they were going to red wedding them. That was the
right. And so he does pop up at the end again, and that's
well he
for
he
not
literally
very long.
tears off the Michelli face to reveal himself as he's actually Zusha to the princess, and it's a really fun makeup effect again. Mm-hmm. It looks really cool.
Yeah. That I guess that's about it for Suchi. He's really barely in it, and sometimes you forget that he's even like another villain around.
Yeah, he really disappears from the movie, except for Cromwell just being obsessed with this guy. I know he's going to come back and get his revenge. I know it.
Right. Which is weird since of the title of the movie, and he's kind of an afterthought.
Yep.
Kind of like the sword.
Kind of like the sword.
So literally the title of the movie are afterthoughts.
Yep. But let's get into Cromwell. The guy who's the villain who's been in this the most screen time.
He's got some blue eyes, man.
Wow, I did not get lost in his eyes. I missed that.
Yeah, he's got very bright blue Daniel Craig type eyes, and they gave him a smoky eye around it too. It was very 80s with his feathered hair as well. Yeah.
But he's actually pretty good.
Yeah. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he did some pretty good line deliveries. He had a pretty cool voice. I mean, although at the same time, the ADR in this movie is over the top. Like, it's like everything is ADR the entire movie.
It never bothered me. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, it sucked me out so many times. I made multiple notes of, the ADR. Oh my gosh, the ADR.
But Richard Lynch, the guy playing Cromwell, he had this like Richard Burton-esque delivery to everything. which I
Yeah.
was like, this is pretty cool. It had a nice gravitas to his performance,
Yeah, and everybody's getting betrayed, right? I mean, it was like, oh, he's got himself a little side piece wench for himself. Oh, she betrayed him. Like, everybody's betraying each other throughout this whole movie.
Well, it's like when we get introduced to him first off in the resurrecting of the sorcerer,
Right.
And then the next time we see him, he shivs the sorcerer, and then he's killing women and children. So it's like, wow, this guy he's a heavy. He is, the stakes are real for him.
But he definitely is like pretty smart about it, right? He's like, all right, I got my super weapon. All right, I know he's gonna be too powerful for me, so I'm gonna take him out. I know this rebellion stuff is gonna be is him. I know he's still alive.
Yeah,
like he's
not a moron. This is actually really impressive.
Yeah.
And he's got a giant sword
I like
of his
his
own.
Lord of the Rings type crown. His Lord of the Rings type crown. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm not even a Lord of the Rings person, but it looked like something like Sauron would have worn or something.
Okay, yeah.
Look at me, Lord of the Ringsing it out, and I hate that stuff. But anyway.
But he's got himself his own giant anime sword too, which appears to be the superior sword in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, really, the sword is useless.
The triple sword.
It really is. The triple sword.
Cromwell's sword, on the other hand, is just as giant, and it's just a one blade, but it's also hilariously big. And later on, when Cromwell and Talon are going at it, it's Cromwell's sword that freaking breaks the triple sword. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
After all that?
It looks like something out of anime or Final Fantasy, the villain's sword. Like, it's this big hunkin' thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of made me happy that the triple sword got put down from it. It's like, that sword is ridiculous.
He's clearly not well liked in the city. Most evidenced by every woman in the city is trying to betray him at any given moment. Like Talon just at one point swoops into his harem, and all the ladies in the harem are attacking the guards immediately to save Talon. They don't know who this guy is. They're just like, yeah, we're automatically on his side.
I noticed that. Yeah, I took a note on that too. Like, wow, immediately they are beating up on this guy and defending this person they don't even know. So yeah. Good.
So I don't know. Maybe his paranoia has turned him into like a terrible lay. But I thought he was a pretty good villain.
Ready to betray him.
And I forgot this last note on Zusha. He apparently does not have nards, which is rough. But for some reason he's also in love or in lust with the princess. I don't know how that situation works out without having
I don't know.
genitals.
They don't really do a good job of like explaining to everyone the fascination there, or why is it important, why is she important to be married to. Like I feel like there's just like a lot of stuff like not really explained.
Well, you have to infer as well, I guess, the legitimacy of it, because the people think of her as a princess,
right?
But she's pretty.
Yeah, definitely doesn't do much. But again, yeah, I mean, our hero's able to defeat him, but then gets kind of sucker punched and knocked out, right? And I think that was...
That's when they're in the lagoon with like the waterfall, whatever.
Right. And that's what led to him being captured.
And crucified.
Right? And so then he gets his, I guess, revenge, but he kind of gets his butt kicked more, I think, in the ending battle.
Yeah, the bad guy literally just breaks his damn sword. But here's the surprise part, and I was saving this for the action scene we were going to discuss next, is that the triple sword is actually... He's got a secret dagger inside the hilt. The handle releases. Oh, it's a fourth sword.
Yeah.
Anyway, which I don't...
It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Pretty much. And he's finally able to kill Cromwell with that. And
you kind of get like a surprise Zusha return, don't you?
Yeah. There's one last...
Yeah. It's like almost like a horror movie. Like, surprise, I'm still here.
Yeah, and then quickly killed again.
quickly dispatched.
Yeah, the only reason the triple sword exists is because Zusha has this like mind control power or whatever, and the triple sword is because the gun feature is he's able to take him out from distance, so he's not too close to him.
I have to say, like, I think I looked away, or maybe I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I looked up and I'm like, wait, when did the sword get back here? I don't like. How did it show up?
I'll tell you exactly how. But that goes into our sidekicks.
Yeah. Well, are we doing sidekicks?
Well, no, we got to grade villain first.
We got to grade the villain.
I gave them a 2. 1 point for each
fair.
one.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I liked Cromwell, and Zusha was cool looking.
Yeah, but barely there. Like, it was just
unfortunately,
again,
Michelli did a lot of the heavy lifting, but it was so obvious what he was. He tried to pretend to be a double agent, and it's like, no, we know you're the bad guy. Every time you have a secret meeting, it's like heavily winked at.
Yeah, so action.
Ooh, not much.
Right? Not a whole lot. It's funny. The first note under action is a little Indiana Jones here. And then I have my next note is, where is the sword? And then I think where did the daggers in the water come from? I think that was the fight in the middle of the movie or so.
Yeah.
And then I was it almost seemed like it was going to end, or this was like close to the end of the movie because it was like this big action type scene. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's half the movie is left. Oh my gosh.
The first big one is like when he's escaping from the jails by himself and racing all over the palace. And it's all very fine. It's just a lot of running and quick dodges.
Yeah,
and
a lot of running.
Yep. Jumping.
Yeah, a lot of chasing around. One guy's running away, he's chasing after. Yeah,
a lot of jokes within it, so you're not too
Yeah.
bored, even though the action is very interesting looking. And then after that, it's the escape from the crucifixion, which is very impressive. But then it goes into he gets his buddy, throws the sword to him once he's been decrucified himself, and it goes into this slow motion action scene.
Yeah,
and it is so dorky looking. It's just so bad.
It is pretty insane that he got himself out of that crucifixion.
Yep. Yeah, no, the girl he wanted to nail was about to get married, and the power of the hornt, his horniness, he pulled his hands off the nails, and it's like, no!
She's supposed to be mine. And then I guess the underwater type fight
at the end of the movie in the basement dungeon, whatever, Zusha's lair. She's just been hiding under the castle for like a decade.
Our second fight in water.
Yes, but this time with the sword fight, we get purple sparks, and purple sparks make it special.
I guess. I can't say that there's anything here that I'm overly impressed with. Even in like 48 hours, at least, we were kind of like, hey, the caddy versus bus sequence was kind of cool. Like, I can't pinpoint a single instance of that in this movie.
Nope.
Other than for me, it's like you get a point because the insanity of these swords, and that's about it. Like,
the strength of this movie is in its sense of humor, and not in its action in this one.
Which is kind of similar to 48 Hours.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I appreciate how high it aimed. I'll give it that too. But it's not all there. And hey, it's his first movie. That happens a lot of times where it's like, I've got a lot of ideas. They're just not all there yet.
Yeah, I think too, I liked how it wasn't afraid to kind of get dark sometimes and like messed up. Like, again, like sword to the back of the head.
Hey, killed a woman and child.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of the movie.
I do think it's weird that like you get like two of the swords, or what? I think it's only his sword that actually looks metallic. I have to say, even the villain,
the Cromwell sword
looks like it's something like I think live action role players, LARPers that I know in real life have made better looking swords than this guy's sword.
Oh.
Like, it looks pretty bad. And I think a lot of people's swords look pretty bad and fake.
Yeah.
And also, were all the backdrops, by the way, Istanbul?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, that's what it looked like.
The Kingdom of Eden looks like modern day, like 1982 Istanbul, but it's filled entirely with white people.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
The only people of color in this movie are the out-of-town pirates in Istanbul. Otherwise, everyone in this desert city is pale. It's like, I don't know.
But yeah, what, they pop somebody's heart out at one point?
Yeah, the action gets a 1 for me. It's just not there.
Oh, I forgot. So we're talking about. Are we talking about sidekicks yet?
I think we should start now, because we both agree action gets a 1 on this, right?
Yeah, total 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, no, hold on. I got to show you something.
Okay.
I have. So I discovered in all this crazy ADR.
Yeah.
All right. So, there was one ADR line where I was like, "Wait a minute, I know that voice." And so you know how I can get kind of weird and random with some of this stuff, right? With some of the voice stuff that I pick up on or music stuff.
Yes, you can fixate. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. So I did, and but I ended up coming to being correct. So I'm curious if you can pinpoint the voice. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it or not, but I'm gonna try to play this for you real quick here.
Okay. Is it Soundwave?
Yes, it is. Yes. Oh, we're so related.
Yeah.
I love you, brother. I heard it. I was like, wait a minute. What? Is that Soundwave? And I'm like, I just started deep diving and going through IMDb and being like, okay, who is this?
That's great.
And then I pinpointed and found it. It is Soundwave.
Oh, more than meets the eye. It's a distinctive voice. I don't know if he ever did any of the other Transformers in the show.
He did.
Did he?
He played. I was looking this up, and I don't have it in front of me right now. But he did a lot of other Transformers,
okay.
and I think he also played Daniel.
No kidding.
In the
movie?
know, which is kind of weird. Or maybe not the movie. What's his name? Not Daniel.
Spike.
Spike.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah. So
that's a different voice, that's for sure.
Yes, very different voice than Daniel. Sorry, my bad. I'm thinking movie, and I was thinking show. But yeah, so he apparently did a few other voices, but it's funny because I didn't know or realize that he did those other voices. But that's
a Soundwave voice, yeah.
That is Soundwave's voice to a T. Right. So it's funny. It's like, wow, he discovered this voice in 1982 or earlier.
That's right. Yeah, the show doesn't come out for another 2 years?
I think it's 80. Is it 84 or 85 or something like that when Transformers starts?
Hold on 1 second. The original series.
Yeah.
84. Yeah, 2 more years.
84. Okay, yeah. So I was right. Cool. 84 is when Transformers starts. So he's gonna pull that out of his bag of tricks later on for Transformers, but he's clearly already using it here for the Sword and the Sorcerer.
Hey, when you find a good voice, look at the guy who did Starscream. He just used that voice over and over again in a bunch of cartoons.
That's a really good point. Yeah, when you have a cool, distinct voice, you just got to use it. And it's,
I've got one.
It's funny. How short is that clip? It's such a short clip. That voice is not used again in the whole movie, but somehow I'm like, I can't track where the sword is, but I'm like, hold on, I know that voice.
Well, in the mentor sidekick character, there are no mentors really in this movie at all. Just sidekicks, lots of sidekicks.
Lots of sidekicks, although a lot of the sidekicks don't come till kind of later.
Well, Alana is a sidekick, a sort, the love interest, the princess. And
she's not in it much.
You have seen her in one other movie that I know of.
Oh, I think I looked this up, too.
She was in The Godfather 2.
That's right.
She was Jenko, the girl at the play that Jenko was in love with, that he took Vito to see.
Right.
But this is the first time I've ever heard her talk. And she's fine.
Maybe it's her. There's so much ADR. Who knows if some of these voices are the actual actors or actresses' voices.
That's fair.
Knows?
Yeah. She's got one go-to move, which is to let a guy think that they're seducing her, and then she kicks him in the balls. which works up until the end where she fights Zusha, who does not have anything. He's genital free.
I guess. Or maybe he kind of looks, I don't know, like a frogish. Who knows,
She
right?
literally kicks him, and there's a sound effect of like, dong. There's like nothing there. Like, what?
Yeah. Maybe he's wearing a cup.
Maybe he knows about her move. And he's like, I've been in this city for a decade. I know what you do.
I've been undercover. I've seen your ball hitting move.
So when Talon decides to take the job, his first, when he comes into town, he's got a whole bunch of like sidekicks that have been traveling around with him, and the only one I recognize is I'm sorry, what's the gentleman's name? Oh, it's Joe Regalboto. Regal. It's Frankie Fontana from Murphy Brown.
Okay.
and I don't know how much Murphy Brown you ever watched growing up.
Not a lot. I mean, definitely some reruns that you might have had on or something, but it's not like I was that like into it. I usually checked out when Murphy Brown came on. It was not my thing.
Right, sure. You were young.
Yeah.
Anyway, Frank Fontana, Joe, and Darius in this movie, he looks like a guy who should be like managing a Home Depot, not or Sherman. Not exactly a guy who looks like he's a crusader, but that's what he is.
Right.
And
I wasn't sure if his men, or at least that one right-hand man guy, if we're talking about the same person, like I wasn't even sure if he liked him.
Yeah, no, he seems genuinely annoyed. Like, oh, we're going to do another adventure. And it's like, well, what are you hanging out with him for? But
I mean, he comes through at the end, obviously.
Well, he's the one who's holding onto his sword, and that's.
But yeah, that was the impression I got. Like, do they like him?
So later on, when he's in the brothel, and he finds out about his boy being captured, he's like getting up and he's laying with a woman when he finds out. He's like, oh man, now we gotta go save him.
And he joins up with some other random people too.
Are only black people in the movie, the pirates that also know of Talon and are like, oh wait, I owe this guy too. We gotta all rescue him.
That one guy was ripped.
Yeah, and then the Cromwell's concubine is like, trying to rally them together. Like, you have to.
Yeah,
we have to go. Do you have to bring me? We're going to do this together. And they're like, yeah, let's go. We're all going to go. And then smash cut. They're all in jail already.
Yeah,
absolutely. Laugh out loud. Great joke.
I chuckled. I did. Yeah,
it was a fantastic joke.
Yeah, it was funny. And then it almost turns more into their movie in the second half of the movie.
And it's the parts of the movie that I'm enjoying the most.
Yeah.
But there's these other guys too. Like when Talon first takes up the job from Alana and goes into the jails. And first he's got to rescue the freedom fighters. And then they go with him into the jails. And there's this one character, Rodrigo, who is absolutely the biggest coward. And it is played for laughs every time. Where he's like, I was like, okay, I'm going to go into the jails. Like, well, we'll just wait here and protect the exit. He's like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you come all this way for me? And then there's another part later on where he's like, where the Talon looks away for a second, then looks back, and he's already gone. He's already run away to safety again. It genuinely made me laugh every time the guy ran away.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, we're gonna go rescue him, and I already pulled myself off. We're good.
And then during the entrance into the jail, there's like they get attacked by a bunch of rats, and these rats are, I guess, like piranha rats. Because I feel like if Talon had put any sort of effort into saving these two guys, they get swallowed by the rats. They could have been rescued, but oh well.
Oh well, yeah. I'm not sure anybody liked anybody. Everybody was pretty mean to everybody and awful to each other. Yeah, I guess my biggest hang up, and I don't have a lot of notes here because I just, for the longest time, I was like, most of my notes is, who is the sidekick? And then I'd be like, is this the sidekick? No, I guess not. Not really the sidekick. And then I'd be like, is this person?
The three that keep on, it's Alana, Darius, and Rodrigo. Those are the three ones who get the most screen time of doing so. And the Pirate King, I guess, gets a little shine there at the end. But they all fall into the sidekickish area.
Yeah, I guess. It's just, I guess no one really takes
the number 2 job.
Stage.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a clear-cut sidekick. Like you typically get, this is the sidekick. And sometimes you could get one or two, but this really seems like a group.
Yeah, it's talent and company.
Yeah. And it's weird because I think most of that sidekick, again, doesn't come in until the end. I mean, they do get some screen shine time at the end where it basically becomes their movie mostly in the end.
Yeah.
But
my man is hanging on a cross, so he's out of commission.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know, definitely pretty weak.
But still, they're a source of like a lot of comedy for me. So I had fun with hanging out with them more than anything else. Poor Elizabeth, the concubine, she gets her tongue cut out, which was like, oh man,
yeah,
that sucks.
As I was saying earlier, like this movie can be surprisingly pretty rough.
Yeah,
like oh man, like that guy's got a sword in the head, that guy got his heart ripped out or something, and this person's getting his tongue ripped out. Like,
yeah, and I'm pretty sure Darius, Frank Fontana, splits a dude's head in half with an axe at one point. It's a really quick cut.
Yeah.
So that's probably should have included that in action, I guess.
Yeah, I guess though that's the saving grace of the movie. I think action-wise, if anything, is like it's not afraid to have blood. It's not afraid to get like kind of messed up.
Yeah.
So that I can appreciate, but yeah, that's about it. And then, I mean, sidekick. I went 1.
I gave it a 2 I laughed a lot. I mean, the smash cut alone of them all being in jail was worth the price of admission.
That's true. All right, so I guess we go 1.5 again.
I feel like we should bring it to 2, but all right.
You think 2?
I think it was genuinely funny.
I think it's a problem.
It's the highlight of the movie.
Like, we don't know who the sidekicks are for the majority of the movie.
Yeah. Well, it was side characters, you know? You don't have to...
Yeah, I guess.
You don't need to have the Jimmy Olsen. It just, you know...
I think you're being too kind.
Probably.
You're being too nice.
All right. I'll bring it down.
Yeah, it's just they're barely there and they're barely in it. They come in at the ends. They do have some nice comedic moments and touches, and then they're gone again. And so I don't know. Yeah, okay. So 1.5.
It's okay. We're gonna end up with the exact same score that I had written down anyway. Because
all right, so I mean that's it, right?
There's some miscellaneous stuff to talk about.
No, I just meant scoring wise.
Yep. Final score is a 6.
Wow.
Action movie. And we're just grading this as an action movie. I actually had a lot of fun with it. Like I'm either laughing at it or with it. Not a movie I'm going to search out to watch again, but I'm like, I wasn't bored. I found it kind of fascinating or hilarious.
I guess that's a good point. Like, it's not like I'm watching this movie and like angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely plenty of movies I've seen in my day where I'm like, this movie pisses me off.
Right.
I don't think I got that from this movie. If anything, I was enjoying how nutty it was.
Yes.
I enjoyed the leaps and chances it was taking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's it's. I admired its aim.
Yeah. And it definitely did not land, but
sometimes it did.
I can appreciate it. Yeah.
Every smash cut joke is really fun.
The smash cut jokes are good. I mean, I'm curious if it clearly did not get the same funding or maybe not utilize the same. I'm curious the funding comparisons to Conan. I'm sure Conan.
Oh, Conan was a much bigger budget, I'm sure.
Yeah. I wonder if even Beastmaster got a much bigger budget.
I'd have to look into that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. At least I have a better memory of Beastmaster being better with maybe not the ADR because isn't the main actor a Beastmaster ADR the whole time too?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been too long. But anyway, yeah. So 6, not a high score. I can't imagine we'll be arguing about this.
No, I don't think it's gonna. Yeah. Beastmaster had twice the budget of this movie.
Yeah. So I guess that's the thing, like, right? Like, it's impressive what they were able to do with a much smaller budget than these other fantasy action movies coming
Absolutely, and it was entertaining. But as an action movie, it's kind of a failure. as far as exciting action and everything like that.
It's not great action. You got a really weird anti-hero that's kind of messed up.
It's kind of a nothing of as a person, as a character.
You got a pretty decent villain. Although it's more in like his look and his plan and his line deliveries are pretty good, even in ADR. Does he get to do a whole lot? Not really, but
I just want to quickly interject. Conan had a $20 million budget.
Yeah,
so $16 million more to play with in this movie. I really appreciated the casual nudity, and I miss that from the '80s movies.
That's true. Yeah, I do have a note here where I go boobs.
There's a lot of them. They're just like they're just in the background. They're just like part of the set. And I was like, this is cool. We don't do this anymore. It's funny. Like all the movies we watched growing up, it happened all the time, and now it's like nope. And it's a good reason, I guess, because a lot of those poor women are being exploited. But I still miss it. The feast set at the end of the movie. My God, that looked cheaper than a Star Trek set from the 60s. That giant curtain that was clearly blocking some stuff. I was like, what the hell? Where did the budget go there?
Really small room, it seemed like, too. I mean, if you notice, like, all the rooms are pretty small.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a lot
Filmed entirely in LA. It's on sets. Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me at all. You're not going to have some epic view of anybody's kingdom in this movie.
Oh, you know what? I put this in miscellaneous, but I should have put it in action. It is genuinely one of the funniest things in the movie, but it's unintentionally hilarious. So, when the Pirate King escapes from the jail, he sneaks up on the jailer who is at a sharpening wheel, right? Now, the sharpening wheel operates by a pedal. So as soon as he stops pedaling, it will not turn anymore.
Right.
But the Pirate King sneaks up on him and smashes his face into the wheel, which the jailer continues to pedal as he's dying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you just stop pedaling, you're safe. And so
I can swear I have that. I have that down somewhere.
And not only that, but like when his face goes into it and he's dying, and when he's got nothing on the wheel, the sharpening sound of metal being sharpened is going on throughout the entire thing for some reason. So like even that, like, so I'm laughing with the jump cuts, and I'm laughing at stuff like this. I'm like, well, this is just...
Right. I think at one point one of the sidekick characters make like an audible gulp sound too with a moment, which was a comedic take that was pretty funny.
The one thing that we were really missing out on though is having a scene of Talon having to explain to like a blacksmith of how to reset the sword, the triple sword, since he never picked up the two blades he just shot off. Somewhere in the 11 years he's away from the kingdom, he gets the sword fixed, but. I would have loved to have seen a blacksmith just like, you want me to do what?
I don't understand how this works.
This seems very impractical.
Explain this one to me. Is there a blueprint?
But that's it. Those are all my thoughts on The Sword and the Sorcerer. I don't regret watching, but it's not going to be one of the best action movies of '82.
No. No. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's not like, again, not angry about it. I'm not upset. I'm not also going to be like, yo, go check out The Sword and the Sorcerer either. Like, I'm not going to highly recommend either. I think, if anything, if you want to just like look at some pictures and some clips on YouTube or something, just to kind of get the gist of some of the funny stuff here or something, like that's probably all you really need. Like, I don't even know if you need to watch the whole movie.
I don't know. If you have the time and you want to go and get a Shout Factory TV subscription, which I decided to keep, it's like, $3 a month, and there's a lot of stuff in here I want to watch.
I didn't even have to do that.
Oh?
Yeah, I think I used Tubi or something.
Oh, okay.
And
it was on there? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it's worth a fun watch if you go into the right attitude. Like, just have fun.
I guess so.
Oh. If you have more time than Tim does.
Yeah, it's like it's not like I get that much time. And so like when you see a really bad movie, it's like, man, I can't believe I just wasted my time on that one.
Yeah.
It's
99 minutes. You didn't waste that much time.
That's true. Because I didn't have to pay anything. Oh, it's on the Roku channel.
Oh, okay. So you had to watch it with ads then?
Yeah.
Sorry. Mine was ad free.
It was okay, to be honest.
Good.
It let me take a break.
See, that's what I told you. When these other movies, it's not so bad.
It wasn't. I was like, okay, wow. Especially if I wanted to take some notes, it was okay.
It's perfect. I gotta go to the bathroom now. Yeah.
Yeah. So and to be honest too, the ads were never like crazy long. Like sometimes like my Hulu ad one can be like, oh gosh, how is this still going?
Tubi and Freevee are awesome. I really recommend them.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff in there. Right. So we got to figure out a movie for next time.
Yes. And I think we should not do one like this one.
We should we got to space out this fantasy sword and whatnot stuff. We got 3 more. I got to next quarter.
I gotta look up. There it is. Action movies, 1982. Anyway, so you got any suggestions or anything? Because I kind of picked.
I was gonna say let's do the Junkman.
Oh right.
Since I bought that DVD, is the only way to watch it. And that's a different type of action. It'll be all racing and car chases and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Different flavor.
Let's see. Junkman and movie maker Harlan Hollis struggles to stay alive when a jealous partner in his company hires goons to kill him. Full of amazing car chases, fantastic crashes, and edge of your seat action. Wow.
Hold on a second. There's a fact on the DVD cover that I would like to show you.
Okay.
Right here on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
It says the Guinness World Record, over 150 cars, trucks, and motorcycles and planes wrecked.
Wow.
And this is the second installment in apparently the Gone in 60 Seconds trilogy.
I didn't know it was a remake.
The Cage movie is all I knew too. I didn't know it was a remake either.
Yeah, and apparently, did the main actor?
Yeah, he's in both.
Wrote it or something.
Direct starred and wrote.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I was going to ask you.
Does it matter that we've never seen the original Gone in 60 Seconds?
I don't think so. I think we should. Okay. I think it'd be more interesting to have you watch this movie without ever seeing Gone in 60 Seconds.
Okay.
And I think I'll try to go and find the original.
Okay.
And we'll see.
Okay. So, yeah, then I could be like, okay, does this come up in the first one? Because I'm lost, and then you can fill me in if that happens. Okay. All right, so we're going to watch 1982's The Junkman.
That's right.
Wow. It says something about 60 seconds there on the cover from what I can see. But all right. Awesome.
Some sticker.
All right. All right. You ready, man?
Yep.
That is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Triple sword!